What is up, Niner fans? I was out getting some bagels at Noah Bagels, and the 49ers dropped some news. We got to talk about the 49ers have re signed former running back Jeff Wilson Jr. to the roster. The 49ers are depleted with running backs right now. Isaac Guerrero has a shoulder injury. Amir Abdullah yesterday came up with a rib injury when he fumbled the ball. I think he farted, fumbled, and then he left the field. And it's unfortunate for him. And then who else has an injury? Jordan James, he has a broken finger. So you have three running backs that are injured. The 49ers always have running back issues, like always. It's always like clockwork. It's crazy. The 49ers, it's just, it's like death, taxes, and 49er running back injuries. I can't explain it to you. I pray that nothing happens in the regular season, but I'm not going to promise you it's not going to happen in the regular season. But, anyways, Isaac Guerrero injured, Jordan James injured, and Amir Abdullah injured. And here it comes. Jeff Wilson Jr. He's 29. He's been on the Niners before. His most famous moment was when he had the walk-off touchdown against the Arizona Cardinals. Remember that? Unbelievable day. I think it was like a Halloween day on October, and Jimmy Garoppolo finds him. He drops the little pass to him, runs it in, and he goes crazy. The crowd goes crazy. Welcome back to Jeff Wilson Jr. Will he be on the actual 53-man roster? I don't know. It's all going to be dependent on the injuries. Like I said, there's a multitude of running back injuries right now. And if they're all injured, they need depth. Right now, you got Patrick Taylor and Corey Kiner who ran last night. They didn't run good, mainly because the backup offensive line was just not creating lanes and stuff. There was only one starting offensive lineman that played, and that was Ben Barch. Other than that, none of these starters played. Spencer Burford looked absolutely out of place at left tackle. He just didn't look good at left tackle. You know, they've wasted his time in the NFL. He was a tackle. They played him at guard. They really wanted to work him at guard. He had an okay first season, and then the Super Bowl really wrecked him. He makes the mistake, and then he gets benched. Dominic Pooney comes in. He's a dog. Now they move him to left tackle, and he's just not taken to left tackle. But anyways, it's besides the point. Running backs right now are needed heavily for the 49ers, and that's why they went and signed Jeff Wilson Jr. He had only 57 yards in 9 games with the Dolphins last year, 16 carries. I think he had a lot of injuries last year, and he signed it 2 years back. The Niners had got CMC, and Jeff Wilson Jr. was expendable. At that point, it was like, oh well, we don't want to just keep you on the roster, and we want to give you a chance to go and play somewhere. So, it had 2 years back, the Niners had traded him to the Dolphins, and now he comes back. The Dolphins obviously a familiar offense. They had Mike McDaniel as their coach, so it was a good spot for him, but he dealt with injuries, and now he's back in the Niners. And he was a really good player for the 49ers. He was a touchdown machine. He was a lean, mean running machine. He never was really a full starter because we always had injuries. But whenever Jeff Wilson Jr. was in, it was like, oh man, this guy could run. He was fun to see, and he was a good player. He's a good, fun story. He's one of those undrafted guys that came out of nowhere from North Texas, and he really stuck with the team. And it was sad when he left because he was balling the year he was on the Niners and playing really good, and he finally got his opportunity. And then they traded for Chris McCaffrey, and he was like, oh, well, Chris McCaffrey's the dog, and we just can't have Jeff Wilson. And, you didn't want to, like, shut him to the bench because, hey, this guy earned an opportunity, and they went and traded him and stuff like that. But now he's back. I hope he plays well. I hope he does good right now in the preseason. And again, if there's a lot of injuries still to the running back department, his 49ers will probably keep him around. And if he doesn't make the 53-man roster, the Niners will have his number. They got him on speed dial. They'll call him later in the season. So Jeff Wilson Jr. looks like he's going to be around the 49ers this year. I don't know how much he's going to play, but just keep an eye on him throughout the year. Again, the Niners do bring back players, and they have injuries all the time, guys. They always have injuries, and you know how the 49ers roll. They will sign somebody, cut them, sign someone, cut them. They keep these guys because they know the system, and they know they can just get a quick fix and sign a guy to the roster if there's an emergency. So Jeff Wilson Jr. is going to be one of your emergency players, and I really love the guy. He's a fantastic guy, and he's showcased that he can run in this system at a very high level. So welcome back, Jeff Wilson. So he's the new Dante Johnson. Yeah, he's one of those guys. They have a lot of those guys that they just reshuffle through the years, and I think Jeff Wilson Jr. might be one of them. I don't know. They did bring Matt Breida in last year, I remember, for training camp and then preseason, and he didn't really last long. So I don't know. Maybe Jeff Wilson Jr. will last a little longer than Matt Breida did last year. Again, there's a lot of injuries on the running back department, so it's really dependent on the injuries this year. But I do hope that he has a good, fun preseason game next week against the Raiders. I'm excited to see Jeff Wilson. I'll be at training camp tomorrow, and you damn sure I'm gonna get you some Jeff Wilson Jr. content tomorrow. So we'll see. Injuries. We'll talk about some other stuff later. I'm out and about. Maybe I'll do a live stream a little later on Instagram and Twitter, and we'll talk about the Niners. We'll do like a post game um, analysis after sleeping on the game, because last night your initial reactions sometimes are a little edgy, sometimes you're a little emotional. I feel like I wasn't too emotional last night. It was a preseason game. I was like, yeah, it is what it is. But you get a little bit more time to, you know, absorb the game, and you could rewatch the game. I rewatched it this morning. I was looking at some of the highlights, and I watched it on the, the actual broadcast, because I didn't get to watch on the broadcast since I was at the game. So we'll go over some stuff. But now, as you know, the 49ers re-signed former running back Jeff Wilson Jr. And with that, you guys have a good rest of the day. I love you. Thank you for the comments. And everybody else, hope you're having a good one. Appreciate you. Love you. Go Niners. Have a good Sunday.